Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel Defense Updates and News. So let's start today's top major defense news. A contact for 500 smart anti-airfield weapon saw guided bomb soon. IAF top brass to discuss India-China border situation, rapid Rafale deployment in 22 and 23 July meet. Navy forward posture against PLA aggression in Ladakh muscles out Chinese threat on high seas. Joe Biden as US President will help India get seat on UNSC, says ex-American diplomat Richard Verma. IF planning 18 LCA trainer and 83 single-seat Tejas Mk1A. Indigenously designed and developed guided bomb smart anti-airfield weapon, as we know as SAW, capable of engaging around targets with high precision out to a range of 100 km, is heading towards production after DRDO concluded 3 back-to-back trials with different release conditions during 16 to 18 August 2018, and all the mission's objectives have been achieved. The 120 kg class smart weapon is intended against runways, bunkers, aircraft hangars and other reinforced structure. The lightweight, high-precision guided bomb is one of the world-class weapon systems designed and developed in the country. SAW has been tested from Jaguar and Su-30 MKI and will be adapted for all fighter jets in the IAF fleet. It has shown higher precision than missiles. Indian Air Force and the Indian Navy had put up the combined requirement for 500 smart anti-airfield weapon as SAW long-range precision-guided anti-airfield weapon, and presently negotiation is underway between all concerned parties to start the production of the weapon system in batches. The weapon has undergone 8 developmental trials till date, and performance of this system for different range under multiple launch conditions have been demonstrated to IAF. Amid the ongoing tension with China, top Air Force commanders will meet this week to discuss the situation on the line of actual control with China in eastern Ladakh and a rapid operational station of the Rafale combat aircraft arriving later this month. The top commanders will meet this week for the 2 days commanders conference starting from 22 July, where they will deliberate on a range of security issues. Indian Air Force official told ANI one of the main agenda points during the conference, headed by the Air Chief Marshal RKS Bhadoria and attended by all 7 of his commanders-in-chief, would be about the situation on the borders with China and the forward deployment done by the force in eastern Ladakh and northern borders. Sources said the Air Force has deployed its entire fleet of modern fighters like Mirage 2000, Sukhoi 30 and the MiG-29 fighters, all along with the advance and forward bases from where they have been carrying out both day and night operations. The advanced Apache attack helicopter has also been deployed in forward base along with China border and are carrying out frequent sorties over the eastern Ladakh region even during night time. The IAF brass will also discuss the rapid deployment and operationalization of the Rafale fighter jets arriving in the country by end of this month from France. The most advanced jets of the South Asian region are going to give an edge to the Air Force over their adversaries as they are fitted with most advanced weapons system. Officials said the India-specific enhancement in the fighter jets along with the long-range weapons like the Meteor air-to-air missiles are going to give India an edge over China and Pakistan. They said the Air Force is also working on the integration of the French fighters with the Russian origin fleet and make them compatible in operations. The IAF chief played a significant role in concluding India's biggest ever defense deal as head of the Indian negotiation team for the project, under which 36 Rafale jets worth around rupees 60,000 crore will be coming to India under emergency purchase route. The 2 squadrons of Rafale will also help India to stem the downfall in the number of fighting units in the force, as well as strengthen its capabilities to carry out long-range attacks. While the Indian Army and Air Force are fully deployed on the Aksai-Chin border, the Indian Navy, through its forward posture, ensured that there is no Chinese People Liberation Army Navy threat in either the Arabian Sea or the Bay of Bengal. According to sources based in Mumbai, Visakhapatnam and New Delhi, after the June 15 Galwan flare-up, the Indian Navy warships, including aircraft carrier and submarines, adopted an aggressive posture on both eastern and western seaboard to ward off any Chinese Navy threat to India from Malacca Strait to the Horn of Africa. The PLA Navy warships, using the cover of anti-piracy operations, spread between Gwadar, their maintenance and logistic base in Balochistan, to acquire Djibouti naval base on the mouth of Red Sea. The PLA warships also enter the Indian Ocean through Malacca Straits and operate in the international waters. After the Galwan flare-up in East Ladakh, the Indian Navy's forward posture has ensured that 3 PLA Navy warships have taken to safe waters in Gulf of Aden off the coast of Djibouti, and 3 other warships have exited through Malacca Strait to home base. A Chinese warship which was entering through Indonesia towards the Indian Ocean also turned back, as the Indian forces were fully prepared for any contingency, said a senior commander. The PLA Navy has acquired a string of ports in Myanmar, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Iran and East Africa to not only contain the Indian Navy but also challenge the presence of US Central Command forces as well as French and British Navy. Beijing has 70% stake in Kayakpyu port in Myanmar, which sits in the Bay of Bengal. Hambantota port in South Sri Lanka dominates the Indian Ocean. Gwadar port in Pakistan sits on the mouth of Gulf of Oman, and the port of Jusk in Iran is located on the edge of Persian Gulf. While the countries in which their ports are may justify the Chinese tie-up due to push-up by the US, fact is that all their ports have been acquired through fusion of cash and muscle with the PLA Navy, moving full speed to acquire Blue Water Navy status. It is only a matter of time that the global trade will be at mercy of the Chinese warships. With a clear understanding of the Chinese posture, the Indian national security planners are working towards building of advanced landing grounds in some of the 1062 islands under its sovereignty rather than buy more aircraft carriers. The Indian plan is to totally upgrade the military facilities in Andaman Nicobar Island on eastern seaboard as well as Lakshadweep on western seaboard. To counter the Chinese threat, the plan is to have a network of Indian air bases on these islands in both Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal, so that freedom of navigation and overflights is maintained and not restricted like in South China Sea. Democratic presumptive presidential nominee Joe Biden, elected to power in the November elections, will help shape international bodies like the United Nations so that India get a permanent seat on the Security Council. A former top American diplomat has said India has been pushing for reforms of the United Nations, including the Security Council, stating that its composition doesn't reflect the current realities and is not a representative enough. The UNSC has 15 members, including the 5 permanent members: the US, the UK, France, Russia and China. China is the only permanent member of the UNSC which is opposed to India's inclusion into the powerful grouping. Half of the 10 non-permanent members are elected every year for a 2-year term. India, along with Mexico and Ireland, has been recently elected a non-permanent member for a 2-year term starting January 2021. There is no question that under Biden leadership he would help shape international institutions like the UN to give India a permanent seat on the Security Council. He would fulfill India's status as a major defense partner. Former US Ambassador to India Richard Verma said on Saturday he would work together with India to keep our citizens collectively safe. That means standing up against cross-border terrorism and standing with India when its neighbors attempt to change the status quo, he added. Verma, an Indian American who was US ambassador to India from 2014 to 2017, joined three other prominent Indian Americans to make a strong pitch for the small but influential community to support and vote for Biden in the US presidential election. The 77-year-old former US Vice President is set to be formally nominated by the Democratic Party. In August, he will challenge 74-year-old incumbent President Donald Trump, a Republican, in the November 3 presidential elections. Original orders for 40 Tejas Mk1 had 8 LCA trainer aircraft included in the previous contract, which was to be manufactured after production of 16 IOC and 16 FOC LCA Tejas Mk1 had been delivered. An additional 10 trainer was part of the 83 jets which IAF had planned to procure with graded configuration, now called as Mk1A jets, and now it has emerged as per latest media reports that there might be some tweaks in the order list and IAF and HAL might manufacture 18 LCA trainers in Mk1 FOC configuration and 83 single seat Tejas in Mk1A upgrade instead. Original 83 Tejas Mk1A order had 73 single seaters and 10 trainers, but now these plans seem to have been dropped and instead all 83 will be single seat Tejas. Mk1A HAL plans to start manufacturing 18 LCA trainers in Mk1 FOC configuration once the manufacturing of the current 16 jets in FOC configuration is over in 2021. Before it commences manufacturing of 83 upgraded Tejas Mk1A, revised order could mean IAF inducting 10 more LCA Tejas Mk1, taking the total fleet of LCA Tejas to 133, which include 16 IOC and 16 FOC Mk1 configured LCA Tejas along with 18 LCA trainers and 83 Tejas Mk1A. While HAL is yet to officially confirm this news, there has been growing chorus to expand orders of homegrown jets due to a possible two-front war like situation which IAF will have to deal with in the future. Thank you for watching my video. If you like my video, then please like, share and subscribe to my channel, and if you have any suggestion, don't forget to comment below.